You may begin.
Good morning, my name is Shana.K. I would like you to look at some of these slides here. This is the Grinnell Glacier in Montana. This is, the first picture is in 1940, you can see the glacier right down there. 2006, it's now a stream. That is, 66 years, the difference there. This is the Muir Inlet in Alaska, 1941. You can see all the ice, snow, and now in 2004, I don't see any snow. This is the Carroll Glacier in Alaska, same thing. Lots and lots of snow, and then you see a little bit on the snow caps, but that's really, on the mountains you see the snow caps, but that's really it. Greenland's melt rate has grown to almost 290 billion tons a year. Since 1992, ice sheets at poles have lost nearly 5 trillion tons of ice, and the world's oceans rose about a half a foot on average in the 20th century due to the melting ice caps and glaciers. If you haven't already realized, I'm going to be talking to you about global warming. Global warming is sometimes called climate change. It can cause sea levels to rise, as we have just seen, ice to melt, stronger storms, and weather patterns. It has also increased the likelihood that disease will spread faster and further around the planet. Do we ever know of a disease that has spread really, really fast recently? According to my survey, 100% of you agree that global warming is destroying our planet and something needs to change. A few years ago, I was asked to watch the movie The Inconvenient Truth. It was for a class. It is a book written by our former Vice President Al Gore, written in 2006. After watching the movie, I had to write a paper about the causes and effects of global warming. I was shocked to see how fast our world was changing and wanted to learn more. Today, I am going to talk to you about what exactly global warming is, the effects it has on our planets, and what you can do to help. I believe the first step to fixing a problem is to learn the facts, get educated, and then make a plan. So let's learn exactly what global warming is. Since most of you did say that you already do know what global warming is, I will keep this part short. But according to the National Geographic, global warming is ultimately caused by the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is a process that occurs when certain gases in the Earth's atmosphere trap the sun's heat. These gases let in the sun's light, but keep the heat from escaping, thus warming the Earth. Over the last 800,000 years, science have concluded that the climate change can be affiliated with natural cycles and fluctuations within the Earth's climate, but the largest changes are directly caused by human activity. The National Resources Defense Council, or the NRDC, which was founded in the 1970s by a group of law students and attorneys at the forefront of the environmental movement, states that our burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, gasoline, and natural gases all contribute to the greenhouse effect. In fact, the largest of greenhouse gases are transportation, which are 29%, followed by electricity pollution, which is 28%, and then industrial activity, which is 22%. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, to avoid the worst impacts of climate change, we will need to reduce global carbon emissions 40% by the year 2030. It's not too far from where we are right now, it's about 9 years. The good news is that countries around the world have already committed to the 2015 Paris Climate Change Agreement. With this agreement, they agreed to lower their emissions by setting new standards and crafting new policies to meet or even exceed those standards. In fact, one of the first things President Biden did when he took office was to recommit the United States to this agreement. The global community must transition from fossil fuel-based production to renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. We need to have more electric cars and trucks and maximize energy efficiency in our homes, buildings, and appliances. Now let's talk about the impact global warming has had on us. The NRDC has found that between the Industrial Revolution in 1880, which was the first time they were actually recording weather, and 1981, the global annual temperature increase has doubled to 0.32 degrees Fahrenheit per decade. It's clear that our planet is getting hotter. In fact, since 1980, 9 out of the 10 warmest years have occurred since 2005, and 5 of the warmest years have been since 2015. 5 of the hottest years in the past 6 years. Due to these hotter temperatures, we are seeing more intense storms, floods, and droughts. A warmer climate creates an atmosphere that can collect, retain, and drop more water, changing the weather patterns in such a way that wet areas become wetter and dry areas become drier. The increasing number of droughts, intense storms, and floods we are seeing create a risk to public health and safety as well. Drought conditions can jeopardize access to clean drinking water, fuel wildfires, create dust storms, and even cause flash flooding. Flooding causes streams, rivers, and lakes to overflow, which damage life and property. It can also result in contaminated drinking water, promotes mold, and unhealthy air. A warmer, wetter environment is also a breeding ground for disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes, fleas, and ticks. This picture here, I just wanted to point out that we obviously know that floods are not happening just in our area. We're not just experiencing all these storms. This picture here is Germany, and this picture here is India. These floods are happening everywhere. Another effect of global warming that we don't always consider is a higher wildlife extinction. As our land and seas are seeing rapid changes, the animals that inhabit them will soon disappear if they cannot adapt quick enough. Penguins, koalas, seals, cod, turtles, and polar bears are only a few of the animals affected. So, what can you do? You are only one person. How could you possibly make a difference when there are almost 8 billion people in the world? There are many ways you can help. Here are a few ways to reduce your carbon footprint according to the Green Book by Thomas M. Costigan. Number 1 is be energy efficient. Save energy at home by lowering your heating and cooling. Turn it down a couple degrees, turn it up a couple degrees. Only buy energy efficient appliances and light bulbs, and only use cold water to wash your clothes. Number 2, walk, bike, or carpool, or even buy an electric car. This will drastically reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and might even help your health and fitness. Eat more vegetables. Plant-based foods generally result in fewer greenhouse gas emissions and require less energy, land, and water. Throw away less food, as Rachel talked about. When food rots in a landfill, it creates methane, which is a powerful greenhouse gas. Try to use what you buy and compost what you don't. Number 5 is reduce, reuse, and recycle. We have all heard this. You can probably sing the song in your head. Electronics, clothes, and other items we buy cause carbon emissions during production, from the extraction of raw materials to the transportation of goods to the market. You can start by buying secondhand, repair what you have, and research the correct ways to recycle. A great resource to learn about recycling is berecycled.org. And number 6 is look into changing your home source of energy. This might be a little cost, this may cost a bit, but you could really benefit because most homes' energy comes from oil, coal, or gas. If possible, see if you can switch to a renewable source such as solar or wind. In conclusion, there is no question that climate change promises a frightening future, and it's too late to turn back the clock. But by aggressively reducing our global emissions now, we can avoid a lot of the otherwise severe consequences that global warming can bring. Thank you.